Okay, your most seamless stream crew here. My name is Baran Wu. This is Extract to my right. What have we got next?
We have got round 9, 8. What are we on?
Round 9.
Round 9 of 10. This has been a long day, and we have what do we have? We have Catboy Lad versus
Restoring Humanity.
Restoring Humanity. Now I always mix up Hyobu and Restoring Humanity.
This is the good one of the two.
Okay, this is the one which is if you have a face down in archives at the end of your turn, gain a credit.
Absolutely. So we're probably expecting punitive from this RH, but there have been a few other builds which we've seen, so we don't know for a fact what this is going to be. It is a 44 card identity, so you can play the sort of 6 agenda makeup, or you can choose to do the 5 free pointers and 3 regenesis, which is very popular with the punitive builds.
Yes, so the overall plan quite often with these decks is I'm going to put someone in the bin. You can't take it.
Yep.
If you do, I will murder you.
Yep.
And I'm not. And if you don't take it, I'm going to score it with the regenesis next turn.
Absolutely.
And you can't get into this remote because I have a billion credits.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to do it again.
Now we're going to see here. So obviously we're Lat is a runner who tends to be quite good at breaking big sentries once or twice. Can get very taxed out by lots of significant sentries. So if we see sort of a lot of early Anansis and Sysintans, then this could become a question of how many symbol chips does this Lat actually have?
Well, that's if they're running Revolver. Echelon is kind of the long-term solution for this, but it takes quite a bit of setup to get to 5 strength. You do need so Echelon starts at 1 strength on its own, so you need 2 more breakers and your turbine in order to turn that into a thing. No, it's Restoring Humanity Evolution. That's just how that.
Yeah, that's the full name.
The full name.
Okay.
Those in the know.
So I think we've got a Hands Eye Review, which is just the best card in
money, install advancing. That's going to be an NGO. Like this is.
Or Charlotte.
Or Charlotte would be a bit risky because you're install advancing for 2.
We've got an early judge call here.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I don't remember any of the punitive style decks playing NGOs or Charlottes or anything which is advanceable which wasn't an agenda itself. So this is already slightly out of the potential wheelhouse.
Yeah.
It might just be a fact that they decided to slot some of those cards to pull a runner through a remote, but still to be seen. Diesel for draw. It's a nice start.
So looking, we don't know whether this is an Anakin Lat or a Swift Lat at the minute. Could be either, but I'll answer that question.
There we go.
It's a Swift Lat.
Ironically, like this is probably a matchup you might prefer to be on Anikam, because Anikam Lat is really hard to kill if it is a punitive list.
Yeah, but I mean, Swiftlight does have a way of, like, if the runner can exert pressure on those central ones.
Right, this is well out of our wheelhouse.
Okay, what is that? We
have just seen a Hearts and Minds off the top, which Hello was so kind as to point directly at our camera to show us what has been seen. So we are now in some serious, like.
I don't know. What does Hearts and Minds even do?
Oh my word, it's a powerful card if you let it go. So Hearts and Minds says that at the start of your turn, you can move a counter from a different installed card onto another installed.
It's the Wayland one, yes.
Yes, but it also says if it's not been protected, then you can also add an advancement.
So it's like a mini Trick of Light.
It's like a mini Trick of Light, and you can sort of never advance out stuff incredibly fast with this, and this means that we're almost definitely not on punitive.
Yeah,
because that's free influence.
We're in uncharted territory here.
We are in,
and this is a treat. I wasn't expecting it.
Okay,
so that's a Charlotte Cacador.
Is the Charlotte? We let that go as well, so this is like a lot of value going on here. Some really good corporation style gloves going on. It is cold in this building, so like that's pretty expected. Maybe a bit more Wayland Vincentechi, but
yeah. Those are definitely some corporate thug gloves right there.
Absolutely. Okay. Now the question is oh, we do have ice, so we might well protect this Charlotte.
I am also seeing a longevity syndrome.
And a snare, maybe?
I don't think that's a snare. Oh.
Unsure.
No, it's an anemone.
That's an anemone. Okay, so that's going on HQ. We've got another piece of ice. I think was an Anansi on the thing. And essentially, yeah, we've seen this a few times today. We've seen people install icebreakers facing the runner, and hello, yeah, just installing all their cards facing the runner.
It's just good sportsmanship. And the
really nice
runner doing it the other way around for the interactions that interact with the corporate. Well, it's just good sportsmanship going.
It is. It's not something that I'd ever considered.
I don't
very
know.
very nice.
I do not do. My cards face me. The only person that needs to read my cards is me.
Yeah. Also, I need all the edge I can get. So if you can't read my cards, then that's better for me.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't really read cards these days. After a while, you learn the cards, and you just go off by sat alone.
Yeah, this is a bit like that one. So we'll go with that. So we've got I don't know if you want to play a diesel here. Second click. Yeah, we're just drawing.
You need to stop Charlotte. It's just sitting there going, hi.
Yeah.
High value. I'm just going to keep getting value. You need to get rid of that.
But doesn't look like Mays.leyline is interested in doing that, because I think we're going to go simulchip probably into a creative here, because I think that's a creative.
You need to get rid of that. I mean, maybe you were drawing at first to be like, I want to do it with the swift kick, but
no, we're leaving it.
Wow. Okay. Either extreme confidence in her ability to break in later, or just not caring what the corp is doing. But that's
yeah. Maybe. I mean, this might be the fact that Mays has a really kind of set game plan. They're almost definitely, I would say, 99.99% on deep dives. So
yeah,
they're probably planning to I'm just going to win off deep dive.
That's bold. So we see another hearts and minds.
So two hearts and minds. We've got agendas in hand there. We've got Fuji.
I think it's either a Fuji or a Nisei. Ooh, okay. We're doing a little Kentucky shell game here.
Yeah. So right here we can next turn we can never advance out this Fuji using these hearts and minds if we want to.
You flip them both put two advanced counters, not using the first ability, and then just and then you've got a Fuji, and that's two damage. Because unlike Obokata, Fuji deals damage on score as well.
Yeah. I kind of wonder whether this might be a Neurospike deck, but
possibly.
It kind of
you
looks
do that
like
out of either, surely.
I mean, possibly, but maybe there's just a ton of money in RH that is.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, I mean, so far Mays hasn't run the archives, so there's free credit every single turn.
Okay. We're challenging remotes and trashing these things, which are good.
Yeah, you can't leave these tickets. These are incredibly powerful if you do leave them about. Now they're only 2 to trash, but
they are very political assets.
Absolutely,
they're mostly they're either you let them fire once and they are pretty devastating when they do, or you have some means of defending like the old CTM deck.
Interestingly, if Mays had a counter on the Charlotte here, then the never advanced play on the Fuji would still be on. Getting rid of this other one, very wise. If you're spending that much influence on 2 cards, they're probably pretty sort of big to your game plan, I'd imagine.
No, you've got to kill Charlotte. Charlotte's 2 to trash as well. Yeah.
Yep.
There goes the Charlotte. There goes the Charlotte.
But then, are we running this Fuji last clip?
Yeah. Just a little 3-point snack right there. Just ready.
No, just
respecting the snare. I appreciate that.
I think maybe also matching hand size there.
Okay, sure. Icing up and double advancing thing.
Okay.
Glad you didn't check this one.
And I think if my memory serves me, that might be a Vampironessa.
Saxophone squid.
Yeah, like I could be wrong, but that's a fair amount of damage if Mays wants to challenge this without the correct breaker available. And actually, if it is like that's probably the ice which Lat is least able to deal with early on. Like,
yeah, because
Unity is horrible when it's the only thing installed.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's not really one of you. Then again, it is 7 credits for the corp. The corp's pretty flush at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting free credits since turn 1. Every single
Let
turn.
that Charlotte go. But the runner's building up. I mean, HQ 2 agendas in at the minute, and if you're planning to score a Fuji now, it's going to be pretty jammed out for a while. So, Corp's in a bit of a rough spot.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that they're on 18 credits, they are still in a bit of a rough spot from because they haven't res any ice yet. Its Jintekis are all right. It's very expensive, and we know there's only an anemone on HQ. That does mean there's a risk of the runner. Oh, what are we dropping here? Pinhole threading.
Pinhole. So we're just checking what this is, or maybe worried it might be a Biovolt or something along those lines, or another Charlotte.
Or they could be setting up for a big old deep dive. I don't think so.
No, I think this is too. I think they've already drawn, so like this doesn't feel like a deep dive, and you can't just barrel into Jinteki Ice without
that's true.
SMC down or something. Short of playing Compile, which is weirdly absent in Swift lists.
It is a run event.
It's a run event, and it's a good one. That's what I'll be playing if I was playing Lat.
Okay, interesting.
I'm not going to be playing that.
It is a little bit like one of the things I do have. I've got binders of all my cards at home, and I put my alt arts in with my regular ones. So I've got my regular one, and I got the alt arts, and for like pretty much every other one I already have at least one alt art.
Do you have any Lat?
Lat is the only one I don't have any alt arts for.
Do you know why? Because who wants to do an alt art of Lat?
Well, there's one right there on the table.
Oh, that is true.
Catboy Lat is amazing.
That's a pretty out there version.
It's a Botu.
Oh, that's actually a lot better than Vampire and that's because this is going to end the run. Now, it's going to force Hello to discard a card from hand, which we know is going to be an agenda.
That's really painful. Maybe you just don't.
No, I think you have to end the run here. I think you have to.
Well, do you though?
I mean, because otherwise you're not. So you're either losing points from hand, which you might be able to get back, or you're losing points in this remote.
Yeah. Well,
this is last click, right? So
second last. Don't forget they got the swift one.
Swift click.
So there is a possibility that the runner thinks, aha, okay, well, I've taken away their sources of money, and they've just spent a whole bunch on that Boto. I don't want to let them drip back up. I'm going to check archives, and if that's a Fuji, which I know it is, they're going to spend next turn scoring. So that's going to be 2 turns that they don't get their humanity box. So maybe the runner has a little poke here, checks archives just to make sure they can't stop them. But we'll see.
Could be the case. 1 card in hand for Hello. Mays considering here, definitely considering going back in. I mean, it's a somewhat scary proposition of throwing 5 points into archive. No, I think go and check it. You are right. Checking the archive.
Deny the drip. And getting
at least 1.
And the fact that they got a Fuji out of that, yeah, they're taking 2, just 2, not 3. We're not P here.
They're not dead to anything here. No, they've got more. They've got enough cards in hand, right? Yes, yeah. They're because I was going to say they're going to lose another 2 here to the Fuji score, which is
so it's
imminently coming.
Yeah. So we know that seamless Neurospike isn't an option.
Yeah.
And also the corp has just kind of shown I discarded an agenda off that. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So they have just kind of shown, oh hey, I've got an agenda on HQ, and I also only have 2 cards. So
okay, so this is pretty interesting because Maze has just lost their best way to get through that Botu. Now they don't have to get through it next time, and obviously it's a symbol chip down, and when it comes in, it's going to come in at a pretty nice 4 strength, which is going to deal with that Boto very, very cleanly.
Well, not anymore. Boto's 6 strength.
Is Boto? I thought Boto was threat 4.
I might be threat 4. Either way, but we're 3-3 here. So, despite the fact that the corp has managed to work it up, things are looking a little dicey at the minute for the corp. 3-3. Your Fuji's gone, and you've also just shown that you have another agenda in HQ. Now, granted,
Well, there's a chance. So it might be an agenda in HQ, hence you throw out the Fuji, or you might have like something like a spin doctor, for instance, and you thought that you could throw out the Fuji, you can like red spin doctor. We see our second front company of the day. We had one in the last game. We had the last one against in PE, and this is a reason that you might be running R+. So this is what I was kind of wondering earlier when you said, well, why wouldn't you be doing this out of PE? And that was specifically about Neurospike, but Front Company works very nicely with RH because it really stops the runner wanting to run archives to turn off your drip.
Yeah.
For instance, if we had a Front Company on the table last turn, the runner would now be dead.
Yeah, I think the runner just doesn't run at that point.
Exactly, and then it feels very, very safe to just throw those agendas into archives.
What if I told the Netrunner Zoomers amongst us that there used to be an ID with disability printed on it, active from the very first turn?
Yeah, well, if you play Eternal at the moment, you can play Front Company in IG, and then you can be RP and IG all at the same time.
Oh, gross! Gross.
Eternal League, join whenever you want.
So we've not had an infinite money combo for dial 3 days.
So right now we've seen Hello push one card into this remote. We're probably assuming this is
we know it's the agenda.
The agenda, right?
Oh no, they had one more in hand, so it might not be the end. It probably is the
I think you're probably just trying to push that because there's stuff in archives that you do want to get back right now.
Yeah, so you really need to kill you need to get this Front Company. It is absolutely lethal. I have no idea what that is.
It's a 1 strength. So I think it might be a propeller, which means that we're probably going through this Boto. So,
well, how do you get through the Boto?
With the propeller.
If it is a propeller. How you can't run the Boto?
Why not?
Because of Front Company.
It doesn't say Front Company's quite a good card.
Front Company's quite a good card. Something that says the runner can't do something is pretty good.
Interestingly, it might not be a propeller because it hasn't got counters on it yet. But I'm unsure. We'll work out.
Oh, that's a powers that be.
Oh. So the question here is, does Hello greed out this? No, it doesn't. Just goes for it, which makes sense. But we're now on 5 points.
We're on 5 points, but crucially,
we get to recur with the agenda.
Oh yes, of course. Yes, of course. It's not just a blank 3/2. It does actually do something.
Just a blank 3/2. And there's a chance. Hello must like the cards in hand because there's actually a pretty good line here to actually throw one of them into the bin with the longevity serum as one of its things, and then that's going to get you money probably for quite a while because I don't think Maze is going to be running archives for certainly not frivolously anytime soon.
Indeed, and it turns your drop back on and all this other good stuff. Yeah.
Now 5 credits. 5 credits is enough to res a couple of scary pieces of ice.
You got Sice and Temp. Actually, so maybe the runner exploits this window a little bit. I mean, it's a very classic ebb and flow of the old Netrunner days. That you score an agenda, it doesn't get you a huge amount of tempo, because back in the day, scoring an agenda was well, it might have done something, but it was a tempo. It was a massive tempo cost. And we've seen you back in those days for this matchup here. So the runner might exploit this to start looking around because they might run R&D.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we were assuming that the R&D ice was an Anansi. I seem to remember that it very well was. So R&D is pretty safe. Now we have seen 2 trick shots in the bin. So the best value run on R&D that Lap probably has here, probably not existent. The anemone on HQ as well is pretty relevant when it comes to trying to land a deep dive because that can be a very nice little, I'm going to res this and
you lost your deep dive. Unless you have Steve out, of course.
Oh, yeah. You know.
But let's see how the runner reacts, because I think there's a window to potentially get rid of that. Get rid of that front company that you might not get again for a while. You need to capitalize on this.
Yeah, it is still it's just that thing about Jinteki Isis. It is scary, even when they're low on credits. Like, I mean, you should go for it.
You've got cards in hand. You got to press because Corp's on 5 points, and the Corp is just going to steamroll you. And if the Corp gets to the point where they can go with that front company up, you're gonna have to waste time on potentially cards to try and deal with that.
So we still haven't quite worked out what this alt art is.
There's
a
an
chance.
echelon.
There's a chance it's a compilation.
I think it is a couple.
Because it's got a lot of words on it.
It's got a lot of words in it.
It's definitely a program. We can work that out from the line at the bottom. And it's got enough words on it, enough sentences.
I think it is
to
compilation.
potentially be a compilation. Not an alt art I've seen. We've got an echelon, so now we're gonna feel
a little safer.
A little safer, but you still need one more icebreaker out for that to be 2 strength. At which point it deals with Slice and Tan nicely. And
Yeah, but
it's still very expensive.
You can poke R&D.
You probably can, because
still a prod. See what it
you can
does.
break a Slice and Tan. It's going to cost you 6 credits,
But you
but
could-
it will also cost them 5.
Trick
we
shot.
see the other trick shot.
Here comes the trick shot. This is
Hey, who made this card?
Okay.
So now we've definitely got the money to break anything. Now we're pretty sure that Hello's not going to res here. This is also going to be able to clear out that front company.
Oh, we're having a we think it might not be an Ananthi.
Well, I think you should have a think either way. It's just good play.
Yeah, just go.
You gotta choose whether you want to res it or not.
It's a
whether
bit-
you can.
It's a bit like when you access a hedge fund from R&D.
Yeah.
Probably stare at
Yeah. You have a little think. Do I want to trash this untrashable card?
Yeah.
Right.
It's
We've
2
got
cards.
R&D. We see a Rashida. That's going to be
going.
going straight in
That's
the bin.
gone.
That's trick shot money as
Easy.
well. Next card is a Reaper function.
Okay.
Right. There is absolutely no doubt what Hello is doing here. Nicely using up all of this trick shot money.
Yeah, feeling absolutely
pretty
bad.
much.
And maybe go and just with the spare play that you got now, go and control that board a little more, because the top card's unknown in me. You trashed everything.
That is true.
And they
And
didn't
there
res.
wasn't a res before. Now it might be the fact that often you don't res into, for instance, a trick shot or something like a stone ship shark room. No, a steel skin.
Oh, it's
That
another
is
front
no, I
company.
think that's a cohort.
Oh, that might be.
Pretty sure that's a cohort kind, which is a pretty good card in RH. Trashing cards from your hand is a good thing in RH. This is like extra money. So we'll see if Mays wants to go and challenge these. The front company's not up anymore, so she can just go and have a check of these anytime she wants. Also, they are kind of, well, they're cup targets, but at the moment with only 1 card in HQ, I don't know how good a cup target they are.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's usually you want to save cups. Not necessarily as necessary a cost saving measure, because everything's usually pretty cheap to trash these days. Usually you want to use your cup target to get their key pieces.
Yeah.
And the key pieces of this deck are largely asset based by the looks of it. So maybe
I think if she runs the powers that be, I'd be very tempted to cut the powers that be, because it's unlikely you're unlikely to have like 3 of them, for instance. So like cupping a single powers that be, you could just hold on to that, because that's probably like a pretty important piece. Although that's a very good thing to cut.
Yeah,
that's what you cut. May's having a think here.
It's hostile architecture,
yeah,
by the way,
sorry,
to answer
yeah.
the question of what that is.
Oh,
You're trashing it. He's not resing it. So
okay.
That's fair.
I mean, this is fair because at the moment there wasn't 1 res. If you think there's more hostile architectures, then you might want to keep the cups around to use for future hostile architectures.
Yes, indeed.
Hostile architecture is a card which says if it's when a card is trashed. The first time a card is trashed.
Whenever.
Yeah,
Jesus.
okay. The first time a card is trashed, due to meat damage.
Yes.
Which is very, very nasty, but a nice little thing that you can do with compilation is you can just host it. You can just take it. You don't have to trash it. You just remove it from the board as if nothing had happened, and it makes compilation.
I don't like it. It switches off Oppo.
Look,
You're
such an MPN player.
If you take away my assets, I reserve the right to take you to the big Oppo.
We're seeing the cohort here, which I think goes down as well, and it does.
Yep.
Lat's got enough money here to deal with these vendors. Now, Lat doesn't have like an unlimited money pool nowadays.
Usually they generate far and away enough to just keep things going.
Yeah, and we'll generally win before it becomes an issue. But we'll see what happens here. I think we're seeing a Ronin. Okay, so now the hearts and minds make a lot of sense to me, because this is there's a potential for like a Ronin kill kind of out of nowhere.
They're trying to do an IG deck, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty fascinating. I feel like I have seen this deck. I think Hello posted this or a version of this deck before. I know that they've played it or a version of it at maybe an AMT or a Nationals or something like that, because it's suddenly ringing a lot of bells in my head from looking at this R plus list, RH list, which I was like, oh look, another punitive. Oh, it's not. So
there's the
that right. Well, now we're definitely sure that our assumed copulation is not a propeller. So that's something. Echelon now also at 2 strength, which is
which is pretty good and pretty good for dealing with slice and turn. Although you do have a you need one more to get within realms of an Anansi.
Yeah, an easy-ish break on Anansi, I guess you would say. But this SMC is probably the way they're getting it. Are they over MU here? No, they've got Swift. They've got Swift.
There is no...
all the hardware and programs are in one line in there. But yes, they're absolutely fine right now.
Okay.
Probably just trying to match hand size here. Yeah.
Yep.
We're playing an overclock somewhere. Probably just to
indeed.
use. I would assume so, and then maybe popping the SMC for something if there isn't a res that they need.
Oh no, they're going HQ.
Interesting. This we know is an anemone.
Yeah, so if they've got a Fuji in hand, so the runner might need to be careful and call it here, so they can break this easy. That's not the problem.
Yeah,
they take 2 and they're taking 2.
Hello has snare money, and this is the kind of deck where I would expect there to be a snare somewhere.
So, yeah, so if I was in Mays.leyline's shoes right now, I would be thinking, yep, I'm breaking this anemone, and I am probably ending the run. I'm breaking this anemone, popping the SMC for something. Doesn't matter really what you pop it for. And then I'm stopping because I do not wish to die.
We've lost the deep dive there.
That's not the end of the world. Fenris can do Fenris things, and you've got a second deep dive. So
yeah.
So
we are breaking now. Here's the consideration:
do you take this? Because taking this will not win you the game. Oh, we're accessing.
And also, are we using this overclock money at this point?
Yeah, you want to. You do.
Like that is 4 credits, which I'm a miser for not wasting run event credits. So.
Yeah, I mean the problem is you can't. Well, you can go get something with SMC.
Yeah, you can install a Unity for like 1 credit.
Yeah,
that's I mean, if Maze.leyline's on Buzzsaw, it's like I guess you're still getting it out for better than.
Are we just ending the run? We're just ending the run.
We're just ending the run. Not even using those credits there. Getting a lat draw. I mean that's very. Like well thought out play. That's
conservative play.
Yeah, I'm not just gonna die to a snare.
Yeah. Not dying to a snare or a Fuji or whatever is good solid play. Pushing via that Boto a new thing. So I suspect this isn't an agenda.
I think that was a Rashida, but I could be wrong.
And I suspect the runner should go and kill them because now even if they drop a front company. The runner knows there's a place they can get into. They can spoke HQ, spend the 1, see a garden, and go kill the front company. So the corp's actually a bit on the back foot here.
Yeah, if this Rashida goes off, then that might go off. I mean, Bosu is now definitely at threat. Like we're at 5, so whatever happens, I think you always have to check this just in case it's an agenda and it's the win.
Like, I have had games versus Restoring Humanity where I've just been like, yeah, they wouldn't do that because if they did that and I checked, then I would just win. And it turns out they had just done that.
Yeah,
and just done that.
We're installing and popping a stone ship.
Fair.
Looking for something, or just hoping, or just wanting to have a few more cards in hand.
Yeah, I don't think you leave this alone.
Propeller gets in pretty efficiently.
So we're running HQ. You don't need to anyway. There's no front company, but a little poke on HQ is a treat. Seeing another
cohort. We're trashing the cohort. This might mean that whatever's in this remote is going to survive.
They're letting it go.
Because that's 3 credits. Like that's all the rest of your money unless you have some kind of run event to get in with here.
Yeah, I feel like you need to. I feel like you need to be careful of not dipping too low on cash. Like you don't have.
Yeah,
Oh,
we are running it though.
So
This is so we're going to spend 3 of the propeller counters. I think 3 credits. We can still trash it if it is a Marilyn, but we are at 0 for the runner if so. It is the Rashida.
I should.
That's what I meant to say, not Marilyn. You have to trash it. You've gone.
You
got in.
have to. There is a certain amount of in for a penny. Yeah, you trash that. You'll recover quickly enough. The court might. Oh,
upping it. That's very interesting.
I mean, in the absence of anything else to go, because I'm sure we've both been in a situation where you have a compilation, you're like, I'm saving it for the win con. I'm saving it for the win con. I'm saving it for the win con. Win the game, and you've just not used it.
Or you end up, I don't know, selling it to a simul chip because you need something back, or I can see that. We've just seen Vampira Nasa drawn into hand. I think there's still a powers that be in there. Vampira Nasa is not able to be dealt with.
That might be another hostile that's gone down, which is interesting.
That is interesting, and that's where you're really going to want that up. But you can refresh it.
You can refresh it. And the interesting thing is there's actually some counterplay in play here. So if you go in with enough credits, they have to res the hostile. Otherwise, when you trash it, you don't take anything. Yeah, however, if they res it, then you know to refresh your card.
That is very true. But basically, it's not going to have enough credits unless you're going in with a pretty significant run event here.
Oh, well, potentially.
I also wonder, do we actually have a program in the bin? Can we cycle this cup legally?
Oh yes, the no change in game state rule.
Because I don't think we've popped an SMC yet. I might be wrong.
I thought we had. Well, we're doing a thing, so really.
It's happening. Oh yes, yeah.
There we go. There was a meta.
Okay, so this is happening, I think, on the corpse turn.
Free popping.
So it comes in and then it'll get another credit. I think that's wise, but Propeller's probably doing nothing at this point anymore.
Yeah. Boto is you're getting through a cleaver or not at all.
Yes. And we're definitely assuming that there's a turbine in here somewhere. So
okay, we're doing that cycle just for a sure gamble.
4 credits.
And then following that up with something. Draw. Okay. I think the runner is conscious of the fact that they are short on cash at the minute and they don't really have a way of recovering. They kind of want to get a laundry going.
Yeah. There is also, I mean, the issue is that Hello is at 5 points. Like that's a pretty scary place.
Yeah, it's a hostile architect. And that's where you're going, huh, wish I had a cups right now.
Yeah. So here, I don't think it's res. It doesn't look like money was spent on it. So
I think it was res. They just spent. They went down from 9 to 4. They can trust us. They'll take two now because it is 1 cheaper than hostile infrastructure.
Yep. Checking the other one.
Urtica to the face.
So that's just 2 net damage.
Well,
so now this makes like a ton of sense because this is a battery for your
your Trick of Light asset.
Yeah, for your Trick of Light but blue. But green. Okay, I found out what this card. Oh, it wasn't you I was talking about. We couldn't work out what this card was.
Well, I don't know what this card is, so tell me.
That is the Hannah Wheels from regionals this year.
Oh, okay.
But it's so dark on screen, but like it's quite hard to pick out. But I'm pretty sure that is a Wheels, which ironic, probably quite a good card here if you could afford to install it.
Yeah. So runner is actually starting to fall behind a little bit because losing that propeller is quite a big deal because that means that they can push a Boto. They can push behind the Boto because the only way you've got now to get through that Boto is a symbol chip. With a propeller or getting your
kind of cleaver plus turbine.
And
then that's still another 4 credits, I think.
That's still not happening. Yes, it's another 4.
Like because it's strength 6, right? It's brand but red. Like
it is very much so. So runner's actually fallen behind a little bit here, which might be difficult. Maybe if they'd say that compilation or say that simul chip, they could have kept the thread up, started building up. But they kind of dumped a lot of this to get that hedge fund money from the fermenter. And I don't know whether you leave the fermenter a bit longer to take it out because
I think that was going to be an important econ piece right now, but
Yeah.
we'll find out. There is we're going HQ here for single credit, breaking with Echelon.
Yeah, there is a certain line where you just kind of ignore the remote game and just hope to win up centrals at this point. Though
I think it's probably most correct, but like if a front company comes down now, then Maze is actually going to be in quite a lot of problems in terms of deep dive is kind of shut off, like
Yeah.
to a point. Like you definitely
because
need
it shuts
to.
it off. It shuts it off even if it's your third click or whatever.
Well, you're going to take two net damage, or you're going to take 2 meat damage.
So you have to shut down a Steve to
need-
know you're going to lose it to get it back off.
Yeah, or you need to do a trick shot with a couple of there's a lot of stuff which needs to be going on.
Yeah.
To
Skateboard
get around
trick.
it. And also we've already seen all the trick shots, right?
Yeah, they're gone.
All 3 trick shots are out.
You have to Steve them back.
So
this isn't getting cut more off.
Okay, well,
the symbol chip coming down, providing a bit of a release valve and allowing the runner to say, "Now you can chuck behind it, motor. Go ahead. I'll just go get it."
Was this the same turn we popped up fermenter? Because if so, I'd be somewhat tempted to pop that symbol chip immediately to get the fermenter back, but I can't remember if that was this turn or last turn.
No, it was this turn.
Okay, really interesting board state now in terms of there's not many cards res, but the potential for threat is there, and we see install advance.
They're pushing.
Oh, this is a good point as well from Tension that the Echelon is now just 1 strength.
Yeah,
because we've lost our propeller, which was turning it into 2 strengths. So you can't even actually get through this enemy very well.
No, I mean they could still just run this remote. They don't have to run a central, because there's no core guidance for it. But I feel like you need to check this. I feel like if you don't, you're in a bad spot.
But this is, and I'm going to do Big Bunny is definitely a Charlotte, right?
Yeah,
but it also might just be a 4-2. It could just be a win.
Yeah, well, yeah. This is the thing. The Jadeki scoring klaxon doesn't quite exist anymore. So, yeah, it's tough. It's tough for the runner. Oh, they're going in.
We are checking it. This is
doing the cycle, and the worst bit. Oh, they're trashing some C4. I'd be tempted to trash things. I mean, maybe you save the capitulation for a Hail Mary.
But I think Maze is.
Ooh, Gauss. I forgot
Gauss. Yeah, but Gauss is not good enough here. Gauss doesn't do it. Because it would come in at 4 strength. It still need to boost. Here, Mace can get in. But if it is a Charlotte. Yeah. Yeah. I think deciding whether to break all of them or whether to take 2. I think this is
okay.
I mean, I guess so. If Mace gets in, she doesn't have the money to trash a Charlotte.
Yeah.
She also doesn't really have the cards to trash a Charlotte.
No, just because it costs 2.
And a turbine. I mean, we couldn't have installed that time soon, but kind of needed that turbine, I think, at some point.
Key pieces, drawing up just in case this is and it's a Charlotte.
It is the Charlotte. It is definitely, and I'm doing the bunny ears, Charlotte. Can't trash it for multiple reasons.
You just have to leave it.
Yeah, Maze is really short on symbol chips now.
Maze is short on cash symbol chips. This is a really rough position for the runner. And I think what may have happened. Oh, okay, this creative commission is going to help a lot.
Yeah,
I think a lot of what happened is the runner was on top, had a good position, but then didn't kind of seal the deal with econ, like getting up fermenter back and being like, cool, you do you, set up your board. I'm going to check stuff to make sure you're not sneaking something out. But I'm mostly going to build myself back up with the fermenter, start ticking, get my money going, and then attack centrals for a deep dive. But
I think that turn where we gain down to 1 credit, and then I think maybe 0 credits. It takes it's so hard to come back from 0 credits.
See.
What just happened? I think we've just gone HQ and we've popped a copulation. We've paid 1 to get through an enemy. We're popping a copulation. We're seeing all the cards from HQ. We see a Rashida, which I think you can trash without taking damage. I believe that hostile, and I think Hello is just explaining this, is installed only.
I think you're good. I think you're good. But honestly, I don't know if you.
I'm not totally sure what you even do.
We've got saxophone squids.
Yeah.
And we've got another hostile. Fortunately, they're unique.
But that Vampire Nasa is going to be a problem. We know that the Eula is in the bin, which is probably the only code gate breaker. We know that there is, I believe, one Simmel chip left in the deck.
Yeah, this is it's looking real.
Obviously, like there is the possibility of DJ Steve, but DJ Steve is 3 credits
from two credits when you can't even break Echelon.
Yeah, and if the Vampire Nasa goes on HQ, then DJ Steve is essentially worthless.
You're in lockdown at that point. And the Corp is playing the slow and steady game here. Conscious that they're on 5 points, knows that if they can just start forward, they just need to get a 3-2 or a 4-2 or even a 5-3.
So the question here is, how does Hello actually win? Because it seems like their plan is very much based around never advance. So if Mays just checks all of the cards which are there,
I have a feeling the plan is you score out behind a Boto here once you get another
piece of ice.
Another piece of ice.
Like something preferably that ends the run.
I mean, Boto is pretty impenetrable right now.
Yeah, that is true. And we've already lost our turbine, so we are whatever our backup breaker is, unless it is exactly whatchamacallit. Oh, this is a nice place. Sorry, so here we've got.
You're placing an account.
We've got the Costa grid, but not at home.
The Costa grid to go.
Yeah. This is fantastic. This is we're paying free influence for the Costa grid. But that's essentially what's happening here. So Hello is using the Hearts and Minds to put a counter onto Charlotte Capital so that Charlotte charges itself. Gets their counter back, allows Hello to draw, and that's fascinating. And the fact that Mays really can't go and challenge this Hearts and Minds means it's probably just going to stick around for a bit.
Well, for what it's worth, I don't think that Charlotte Capital is going to stick around at all. I think as soon as the Corp draws an agenda, and I think that's a Yankee Uter in hand.
Yeah, maybe. I think you need at least one more piece of ice on this. I think you don't. Okay, it is going. We're popping it for free, so yeah, maybe we're just installing it.
I think on 1 credit, I think you can feel fairly safe about this, especially given the runners only on 3 points. If the runners on 5 points, maybe you take us a bit safer. On 3 points?
Do we have enough clicks to install Yagyuda plus the Vampire Nasa, or did the Vampire Nasa go on R&D?
I think the Vampire Nasa went on R&D. I think we're pushing it. Okay. Hello, throwing down the gauntlets then. Come get.
Got 4 cards in hand. May's looking through her bin here. Is that 2 cards left in R&D, or am I just
2 cards left in the stack? Yeah,
in the stack, because that is a very full archives. That's the one. You know what I mean.
Runner is not a card. But yeah, no. And this kind of shows how much I think this deck kind of is leaning on that fermenter, or maybe the 2 fermenters it's got on the deck. There is inside job would be quite painful here, because you if the outside card wasn't an Nancy, but you're absolutely right. They could inside job this Boto.
Yeah. Well, are we install? What's happening here? I missed. Are we just running? Are we running HQ?
I think we are. I think it's a bit of a Hail Mary play.
Yeah. Maybe calling it kind of correct. I mean, Mays is on the back foot here.
Unless.
Are we going deep dive?
No, you don't have the money for a deep dive.
No. You'd need. I don't know what you'd need. You'd need a Carpe Diem or something.
Yeah, you would need.
We're going again, I think.
On HQ?
I think so. We've just taken the damage for something, and yeah, we're going again.
But they don't have anything. They would have jammed by now.
Oh, they do.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Excuse
wow. Mays knows. Mays has the play here apparently.
Is this a Hearts and Minds Ronin play? Is it a reader function play?
Hearts and Minds Ronin could be a play, but I feel like you almost want to do that out in the open.
They had a laundry. Play the laundry, surely, to keep in mind.
Yeah, like click.
Oh my gosh! Okay. Mays had the soul reading there.
So Hello was baiting into the remote here with a second hostile. This is some next level reading.
Okay, that is some soul reading right there.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, R&D was Vampire and
Wow. Okay.
That was a read. I knew you made that read, and I knew what the cards were.
Wow. That was definitely the most unexpected turn of the day by quite a considerable margin. Yeah, I'm a little bit shaken right now. That was.
I was convinced that was a Yankee in the row because I'm like, okay, because the second you push this, the runner isn't coming in. And this is a safe to put. The runner's going to hammer something because you have to.
Mays absolutely making the call there.
Yeah. Savage.
Yeah.
I mean,
holy shit.
We were savagely outplayed. That was
okay.
What a read.
I'm gonna have to go to a break just to